The late afternoon sun filtered through the blinds of Emily's cozy Chicago apartment, casting golden streaks across the hardwood floor. Her phone buzzed on the glass coffee table. The sound jarring in the quiet space, she glanced at the screen, her heart doing a little flip when she saw the name Ryan, her best friend since college. The one person who could always make her laugh even on her darkest days. Emily swiped to answer, her voice warm but tinged with fatigue from a long day at work. "Hey Ryan, what's up?" "Hey Emily." Ryan's voice came through late, but carrying a nervous edge that made her sit up straighter. "So, I've been thinking about my birthday coming up. I know you've always got some epic plan in mind, but I was hoping for something different this year. Something special." Emily's lips curved into a small smile, though her brows furrowed slightly. Ryan's tone was different, hesitant, almost vulnerable. "Happy almost birthday," she teased, trying to keep things light. "You know, I've got us covered, right? Dinner. Maybe some karaoke to embarrass you in public." Ryan chuckled, but it was short-lived, like he was holding something back. "Yeah, you're the queen of planning. But I don't know. I was thinking maybe you could help me with something. A gift, but not the usual kind." Her smile faded, replaced by a flicker of curiosity mixed with unease. "Okay, spill it. What's on your mind?" There was a long pause, the kind that made her stomach twist. She could hear Ryan's breath on the other end, uneven like he was wrestling with whether to speak. Finally, he let out a shaky exhale, his words tumbling out in a rush. "Emily, I want a kiss for my birthday. From you." The air in the room seemed to thicken, her pulse spiking as the words sank in. A kiss from Ryan, her best friend, the guy who'd been her rock through every breakup, every fight with her husband Michael, every moment she felt like she was drowning. Emily froze, her fingers tightening around the phone. "A kiss," she repeated, her voice barely above a whisper, more to process the request than to confirm it. "Yeah," Ryan said, his tone now laced with nervous energy. "I know it sounds crazy, and I don't want to freak you out. It's just, I've always wondered, you know, what it would be like. And since it's my birthday, I thought maybe I could ask. Just this once." Emily leaned back against the couch, her mind spinning. Shock coursed through her, followed by a confusing wave of emotions she couldn't quite name. Ryan had always been there. His warm brown eyes, his easy smile, the way he seemed to know exactly what she needed to hear. She'd noticed the lingering glances sometimes, the way his hand brushed hers a little too long when they passed a coffee cup or shared a blanket during movie nights. But she'd always chalked it up to their closeness, nothing more. Now, his words hung between them like a fragile thread, threatening to unravel everything. I don't know, Ryan," she said finally, her voice trembling. "This is a lot. You're my best friend, and I'm married." The word married felt heavy, a reminder of the vow she'd made to Michael, even if their marriage had been crumbling for months. Michael's emotional distance had left a void in her life, a hollow ache she tried to ignore. But Ryan's request stirred something else, curiosity, maybe even longing. "I get it," Ryan said quickly, his voice softening. "I don't want to mess things up between us. If it's too much, I'll take it back. I swear." Emily closed her eyes, her fingers curling into the edge of the couch. "Let me think about it, okay? I just need time." "Of course," Ryan replied, relief evident in his tone. "Take all the time you need. I'll see you tomorrow." "Yeah, we'll talk then." As she ended the call, Emily stared at her phone, her heart racing. Ryan's request wasn't just a simple ask. It was a turning point. She thought about her marriage, the cold silences that had replaced the warmth she and Michael once shared. She thought about Ryan, his unwavering support, his laughter, the way he made her feel safe. And now this, a kiss. It was such a small thing, but it carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken feelings. Over the next few days, Emily couldn't shake Ryan's request. It lingered in her mind, replaying like a song she couldn't stop humming. She tried to dismiss it as a fleeting impulse, but the truth was harder to ignore. Ryan wasn't just her friend. He was her safe haven. Their late-night talks, the way he dropped everything to help her, the quiet moments when their eyes met and something unspoken passed between them. It all added up to something she hadn't dared name. Her marriage, on the other hand, felt like a shadow of what it used to be. Michael was always working late, his responses clipped, his presence distant. The intimacy they once had, emotional, physical, had faded, leaving Emily feeling invisible. She missed feeling desired, feeling alive. And now Ryan's request had cracked open a door she wasn't sure she wanted to step through. Ryan's birthday arrived with a quiet intensity. He'd planned a simple evening, just the two of them, no distractions. He'd booked a room at a boutique hotel downtown, a place tucked away from the chaos of the city. When he called to confirm, his voice was steady but laced with nervous excitement. Everything set. Emily, dinner. A nice view. Just us, you in, I'm in, she said, her voice betraying a mix of anticipation and nerves. I wouldn't miss it. The hotel was elegant yet intimate, with soft lighting and velvet curtains that gave it a cocoon-like feel. As she stepped into the private elevator, Emily's heart pounded. Ryan had planned every detail, the candles flickering in the suite, the plush furniture, the quiet hum of the city outside. It was romantic, undeniably so, and it made her pulse quicken. She wasn't sure if she was more nervous about the night itself, or the fact that being here with Ryan felt so right. Ryan poured them each a glass of whiskey, his movements deliberate, but his eyes darting to hers, searching for a sign. To a memorable birthday, he said. Clinking his glass against hers, the amber liquid burned as it went down, loosening the knot of tension in her chest. Dinner was exquisite, a slow dance of flavors and conversation. They talked about everything, work, books, dreams for the future. But beneath it all, the unspoken question lingered. Every glance, every brush of their hands as they passed, a dish felt charged. Emily could feel the pull between them, a magnetic force she was both drawn to and afraid of. As the night wore on, the room seemed to shrink, the space between them closing until it felt almost unbearable. They moved to the couch, the candles casting a warm glow over their faces. Emily's heart raced as she caught Ryan's gaze, intense, but soft, like he was waiting for her to decide their next step. You okay? Ryan asked, his voice breaking the silence. She nodded, though her chest felt tight. I don't know, Ryan. This feels different. Big. He leaned forward slightly, his hands resting nervously on his knees. I've been thinking about this all night, about my birthday wish. His voice was low, heavy with meaning. Do you think maybe tonight? Emily's breath caught. Her mind screamed at her to stop, to think of Michael, to remember her vows. But another part of her, the part that had been starving for connection, for passion, urged her forward. She thought about the years she'd spent with Ryan, the way he'd always been there, the way he made her feel seen. She thought about her marriage, the cold distance that had grown between her and Michael. The nights she'd spent wondering if this was all her life would be. I don't know what this means, she said finally, her voice trembling. But I feel something, Ryan. I always have. I just didn't know how to face it. Ryan's eyes softened, a flicker of hope in them. I don't want to push you, but I've wanted this for so long. Not just the kiss, but you." The words hit her like a wave, stirring a mix of fear and exhilaration. She was standing on the edge of something irreversible. But for the first time in years, she didn't want to play it safe. With a shaky breath, she closed the distance between them, her fingers brushing his cheek. His skin was warm, his eyes wide with surprise, but steady with certainty. And then she kissed him. The kiss was tentative at first, a soft exploration, as if neither of them could believe it was happening. Ryan's hands found her waist, pulling her closer, and the kiss deepened, slow and deliberate. It was more than a kiss. It was years of unspoken feelings, of longing, of connection. For Emily, it was a revelation. She felt alive, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and guilt. For Ryan, it was everything he'd ever hoped for, a dream he'd kept buried for years. When they pulled away, the room felt different, charged, alive. Emily's breath was shallow, her mind racing. Ryan's face was flushed, his eyes bright with a mix of disbelief and joy. "I didn't think," he started, his voice a whisper. "I didn't think it would feel like this." "Neither did I," Emily murmured, her heart a storm of emotions. Guilt tugged at her, but so did a sense of freedom she hadn't felt in years. They had crossed a line, and there was no going back. The night unfolded in a haze of intimacy. Ryan's touch was gentle, reverent, as they explored each other in ways they'd never dared before. Emily felt a rush of desire, but also a deep sense of trust. She knew Ryan, knew his heart, knew he'd never hurt her. As they lay together, the boundaries of their friendship dissolved, replaced by something deeper, something raw. But as the night gave way to morning, reality crept in. Emily woke with a weight on her chest, the memory of their night together, the touches, the way Ryan had looked at her. It was all so real, so undeniable. But so was her marriage. She thought of Michael, of the vow she'd broken, of the life she'd built. Guilt gnawed at her, but so did a growing clarity. She was in love with Ryan. Ryan, too, was wrestling with his own emotions. He'd always loved Emily, but he'd never dared hope she'd feel the same. Now, with their bond tested and proven, he felt a mix of hope and fear. What would this mean for them? Could they go back to being just friends? Did he even want to? That afternoon, they sat in the small garden behind Emily's apartment, the air cool and golden. Ryan turned to her, his heart pounding. "Emily, I've been in love with you for years," he said, his voice shaky but resolute. "Last night, it meant everything to me. I don't know what happens next, but I needed you to know that." Emily's breath caught, his words hitting her with a force she hadn't expected. "Ryan, I didn't realize how much I needed to hear that. I've been so confused. But the truth is, I feel something for you too. Something more than friendship. I'm just scared." The silence between them was heavy, but not uncomfortable. They were both vulnerable, both afraid, but both certain of one thing. Their feelings were real. Emily thought about her marriage, about the emotional neglect she'd endured, the way she'd been craving connection. Ryan had given her that, and more. But she wasn't ready to throw everything away. Not yet. "I need time," she said softly, "to figure out what this means. For me, for us. But I don't want to lose you, Ryan. I want to see where this goes." Ryan nodded, his eyes filled with understanding. "We don't have to rush. I'm here, Emily, no matter what." As the sun dipped below the horizon, they sat together, the weight of their decisions settling around them. They didn't have all the answers, but they had each other. And for now, that was enough. This story touches on complex emotions and relationships, which brings up an important topic: consent and boundaries. In any relationship, romantic, platonic, or otherwise, clear communication and mutual agreement are crucial. Emily and Ryan's story shows the importance of taking time to process feelings and respecting each other's pace. Consent isn't just about saying yes or no. It's about ensuring both parties feel safe and valued. If you're navigating similar situations, take time to reflect, communicate openly, and seek guidance if needed. Relationships thrive on trust, respect, and understanding your own boundaries is a powerful step toward healthy connections. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for Broken Vows. We dive into raw emotional stories like this every week, exploring the complexities of love, trust, and human connection. Drop a comment below. What would you have done in Emily's shoes? Let's keep the conversation going.